Welcome back to Jack of All Games Tabletop. I'm Dave Wallace, and it's time for another board game review. Today we are talking about the new version of Horrified, the Dungeons and Dragons edition. Just released, and a very cool combination of two things that I love: board games and D&D. I don't think I've ever really talked about Horrified, at least not very much on here, but it is a game that I enjoy playing. Of course, if you watch the channel, you know that I am into Dungeons and Dragons, whether I'm playing or DMing. So yeah, having this combo is not only cool for me, but also I get to play this with my almost 11-year-old daughter. She and I played Horrified together, and then I also do a kind of simplified version of Dungeons and Dragons for her friend that I DM. So this was a nice combination. So heard it was coming out, she was excited about it. So kind of gives me a little bit more option to play this, not only whether I play by myself or with one of my friends, but also a little family bonding experience. So yeah, super cool game. If you're not familiar with Horrified, there's, I don't know, 5 or 6 versions of it now, all dealing with different kinds of monsters. And I have the original, which has the universal monsters. And I don't have any of the other editions. I've heard different things, some that play better than others, a couple of problematic areas here and there. But so far, at least as far as I've gotten into this one seems really cool. I haven't played all the monsters yet, so but definitely really enjoying this. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it here. This is from Ravensburger. I've heard it pronounced both. I'm not sure which one it is, but this is 1 to 5 players and 45 to 60 minutes, suggested for ages 10 and up, which seems to work for me. So yeah, anyway, this is Horrified, Dungeons and Dragons.
Delve below the city of Waterdeep into the most notorious dungeon of all. Beholder, Displacer Beast, Mimic, and the Red Dragon are terrorizing Undermountain. Your team of heroes must defeat them by completing each creature's unique challenge. Adventure again and again, or adjust the difficulty by facing a new group of monsters every game.
All right, so there you go. That's the theme, and yeah, I mean, this is a really cool game. It's got a lot of familiarity. I mean, if you've played Horrified before, then you kind of know like the basics of how this goes. But it does have a uniqueness to it in the rolling the D20 for different actions in this game, which kind of brings you to that whole Dungeons and Dragons familiar feeling to it. And yeah, a lot of cool little tricks to this game that sets it aside from the way other Horrified games work, and yet, yeah, it's still got the same basic idea of how it works. So yeah, let's find out what's in the box.
What's in the box? In the box for Horrified Dungeons & Dragons, you will find 1 game board, 5 monster mats, 4 monster miniatures, 5 hero tiles, 5 hero standees, 10 citizens standees, 60 item tokens, 1 terror marker, 1 frenzy token, 1 horrified haversack, 4 layer tokens, 3 monster dice, 1 d20, 5 reference cards, 30 monster cards, 20 perk cards, 1 Beholder Eye Ray reference card, and 17 monster tokens.
Okay, up next is aesthetics. And I gotta say, everything in here, I mean, if you're familiar with Ravensburger, if you're familiar with Horrified, I mean, everything about the quality of stuff is nice in here. Of course, the artwork definitely has, a nice fantasy art feel to it. Everything about the quality of the pieces is really pretty nice as far as The board is it's a really well laid out board. As far as the cards and the quality of them, the dice that are included. I will say one thing about the miniatures. The game does come with miniatures for the monsters, whereas everything else in it is a standee, which is kind of just a bonus. They didn't have to make, miniatures. They could just make, standees for the monsters too. So I mean, it's great that they put them in there. They do have a little bit of that rubbery plastic feel to them. And maybe that's more, since I'm a miniature painter, I'm into that kind of stuff. It's not a big deal, but it'd be cool if they were a little bit nicer quality. But they do look nice. In fact, the Mimic actually looks really cool. Yeah, so that would be my only thing. It's not really a complaint overall. The quality of everything in this is really nice, and like I said, the familiarity of putting the different places, like Waterdeep is where you're working at, which is going to be familiar to Dungeons and Dragons players, and the different kind of races or classes. The classes that they use, like the bard and the fighter and the wizard, and that sort of thing. So all about that is really cool. Even some interesting characters from D&D lore are included in this. Drizzt Do'Urden makes a little bit of an appearance in here, so there's a lot of cool stuff in here when you really get into it. So yeah, overall aesthetics, very cool. So as far as ease of instruction, pretty simple. Like I said, if you've played Horrified before, then you're going to get a lot of the basic idea anyway. But if you never have, it is not hard to learn. I mean, if I can figure it out, then anybody can figure it out. Most of the rules are pretty simple to figure out. There is one thing that they put in here, and actually it is included in my setup and how to play, but it should be made clear. They do say in the rules for the setup to set the layer tokens down. Well, what they should have said is if you are playing against the red dragon, use the layer tokens because they are worthless otherwise. They don't say that. They just say put them down in your setup. So if you were playing like the first with the beginner's level, I guess, which is what I've played so far, is against the Beholder and the Displacer Beast. Those layer tokens will only cost you items to turn over and find out that they're totally worthless to you. So one thing I would have definitely included, don't use the layer tokens unless you're fighting the red dragon. Other than that, everything's pretty cut and dry in the instructions, so it's not a big rule book. So yeah, ease of instructions, very good. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the setup and the how to play.
Setup. Place the board in the center of the table. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the different locations. Shuffle and place the layer tiles face down. Place the terror marker on 0. Place the citizen standees within reach of the board. Shuffle the monster cards and place the deck face down near the board. Choose which monsters to play against and set their mats next to the board. Follow the setup for each monster and place their miniatures in their starting locations. Place the frenzy marker on the monster mat with the lowest starting value. Each player may choose their characters and receive their character tile and standee, which may be placed in its starting location. Shuffle the perks deck and deal 1 perk card to each player. Then set the deck near the board. Put the 60 item tiles in the haversack, shake the bag, and place 12 randomly drawn items tokens in their location on the board. Now you're ready to play. How to play. Each player's turn is divided into 2 phases, the hero phase and the monster phase. During the hero phase, you may take actions up to the amount on your player tile, which is usually 4. Those actions include move 1 space, guide a citizen to or from you by one adjacent space, pick up any amount of items in your space, share items with another character in your space, advance, which helps you begin attacking a monster, defeat, which allows you to deliver a killing blow, or use your special actions listed on your tile, which typically requires rolling the d20 and finding the results on your character tile. All item tokens have strength listed and a color. Attacking and defeating monsters may require specific color items or strengths to work. There is no limit to how many tiles you may have in your possession. Perk cards may be played at any time without an action. During the monster phase, the active player turns over the monster card, which will reveal how many new items will be drawn from the haversack, which monsters will move and attack, any events that take place, and how many d6s the monsters will roll. The attack dice have blank sides, hit sides, and special monster attacks or POW sides. A blank misses. A hit can remove the character or citizen from the game, but characters can dodge the hit by discarding an item. A POW will require looking at the monster mat to see how the special attack works. Monster attacks or weakening monsters to defeat usually require d20 rolls. Anytime a citizen is killed or a character is taken out, the terror marker moves up 1. If the terror track marker reaches the skull, you lose. If the monster deck runs out, you lose. But if you valiantly defeat the monsters in battle, victory is yours, and the citizens of Waterdeep will sing your praise.
All right, there you go. That's how to play it, not too hard. Next, as always, is cost and availability. So cost is about $30. I mean, that's a great deal for these games. Like I said, you can get hours of entertainment. They're pretty easy, but they're a lot of fun. So $30 for any kind of board game nowadays is a great deal. At the moment, as far as availability, it's available through Target, which for a lot of people should be pretty easy to come across. You can go to any Target, you can order from them. You'll find it probably available through a few game stores as well, but it's going to become more widely available. It's something that Target likes their exclusivities. So for a little while, it'll be just a Target thing, and then probably another month from now or so, you'll be able to get it on Amazon. It'll become a little bit more widely available. Interesting thing though that happened. I don't know why this happened the way it did. But I have 2 Targets within 20 minutes of driving time for me. And both of them on their app, when I went to go get it over a week ago, probably a week and a half ago or so, I saw on their website, each store had 4 in stock. So I go to one Target on a Monday morning, and none of them are on the shelf. They go looking in the back for me, and apparently they had so much stock that they couldn't find it. They couldn't dig it out. He was gone for a while trying to find it. So maybe in a few days, a day or two, you'll be able to get it. Well, that night, I decided to go ahead and order it online to be picked up at the same store, and figuring I'd get it in the next morning. And after about 2 hours, I got an email cancellation that it was no longer available. Didn't really make any sense. So a few days later, I waited 3 or 4 days, went to the other Target, which said they had 4 in stock. They had a spot on the shelf for it, none available there. And of course, guy goes in the back looking for 20 minutes or so. He was gone for a while, trying to help me out. It seemed like a nice dude. Couldn't find them. Thought they should be on the shelf, but there was none on the shelf. So I had to wait another 3 or 4 days. So I finally was able to go back to the original Target, which now had them out on the shelf. So apparently they dug through all their stuff. I don't know. It was very strange, though. They were in stock in 2 different places, and neither of them could find them. So hopefully you don't have that problem at your Target. As far as expansions, No, not really expansions for these games, I don't believe, but this is compatible to basically work with other Horrified games. You can kind of swap your monsters around, bring monsters over to a new location, different map, different boards and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I think that you can, especially if they have all 5 or 6 versions of this game, you can just kind of swap out your different boards and different characters and stuff. So yeah, you can get creative with it. So, but yeah. Anyway, as far as the other expansions, nothing right now. So, as far as final thoughts, well, like I said, for me, I mean, this is really great that I not only enjoy this game myself, but I don't feel like, even though I play it with my daughter, my 10-year-old daughter, I don't feel like it's a kid's game. You have certain games that when you have younger kids that, I don't know, you just don't really look forward to playing them because it just feels too much like a kid thing. And this one doesn't. I mean, this one feels like, a lot of the games that I already do have. So it's pretty cool for us to have stuff to play together. And she's getting older now, so I mean, yeah, we do have more games that we can play. But this is one that we both can enjoy. And like I said, I played it with Russell and my daughter at the same time, my buddy Russell. So we, able to mix it up a little bit that way and have fun with it. And I love the aesthetics of it. I love the fact that it is Dungeons and Dragons affiliated, the artwork, everything about this I think is really cool. Definitely worth it. Easily worth $30. So if you've never played Horrified, and especially if you're a D&D fan, then you might actually really dig this. Just at least that familiarity to bring you into the board game world. And if you like board games, then yeah, you should dig this one. So that's going to be it for now. Go out and get you a copy of this if your Target has it in stock. Until next time, get out there and roll some dice. Thank you once again for watching Jack of All Games Tabletop. I really appreciate the support, and if you wouldn't mind, maybe give it a little thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Of course, I love reading your comments, and with any questions, suggestions, or corrections, feel free to leave them in the comments. Or, of course, you can always get a hold of me at jackofallgamestt@gmail.com. And if you're a game designer and you want to talk about your game on the show, I'd love to hear from you, so drop me a message. And now, I will persuade you to hit the like button with a persuasion roll. Well, turns out I have advantage on persuasion rolls. Yeah. I believe I have 1 point of inspiration left. So, yeah. Hey, check out my hot wife. Yeah, she's always distracting me. Aha, and as you can see, I have rolled a natural 20. Therefore, you are persuaded to hit the like button. And now, thanks to my power of persuasion, I know that I will see you next week.